this press conference that we wanted to present to y'all. Um, Wanted to start off a little bit by giving y'all some information on why we're here. So today we had a grand jury that convened in regards to the incident that transpired and that happened on July 15th. And so just to give y'all a little bit of backstory, we'll talk a little bit about that to start with. As the community already knows, on July 15th we had a situation here in Levelland that ensued in the 1100 block of 10th Street, where we had a barricaded subject. We're not going to go too awful into the details of the investigation, but again, just to give y'all some quick insight on that. When that subject was barricaded, we did have several instances where he was shooting at police. We returned fire a few times as far as Levelland Police Department. The Lubbock County SWAT team responded with us to assist us in this barricaded subject. When they arrived, more shots were fired by the suspect, which ultimately led to the death of one of our fine officers and deputies that work for the Lubbock County Sheriff's Office. During that same time, we also had a Levelland Police Department Sergeant Detective Sean Wilson that was also struck and severely wounded. And then we also had additional Lubbock County SWAT team members that were injured and shot at that same time. So today's event, what we did today was the very start of the very beginning process of seeking justice for not just Sergeant Bartlett, who lost his life coming to our aid, but for all the other officers that responded and that were here to provide aid to our community. We're also here to seek justice for our community as far as the city of Levelland and Hockley County as a whole. Want to go ahead and announce real quick who we have up here at the podium. We have Commander Joe Longway with the Texas Department of Public Safety, Sheriff Kelly Rowe, our District Attorney for Hockley and Cochran County, Angela Overman, and our Sheriff Ray Cyphers for Hockley County. So just to kind of preface real quickly, again, because this is a very the starting portion, and we're kind of in the infant stages of the prosecution portions of this particular case. We're not going to get too awful far off in the weeds for sure in regards to talking about the case itself, but if you have questions after for any one of us in regards to maybe how the officers are doing or anything to that matter, you're more than welcome to ask. So with that said, I want to go ahead and introduce our awesome district attorney who is leading the charge on this prosecution and on today's grand jury. She's here to go ahead and announce what she has presented and what we have at this point in regards to the charges filed. Ms. Angela Overman.
Thank you. Okay, so the Hockley County Grand Jury returned a true bill of indictment in the capital murder of Sergeant Josh Bartlett, and also returned a true bill of indictment in the attempted capital murder of Sergeant Sean Wilson. These are the two we presented today. We've got more to come. We're just getting started. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So, as Ms. Overman has just mentioned, these are just the start of probably many charges that we have ready to present or that are getting prepared to present. Not ready, but we are working diligently on trying to get all these charges filed with the District Attorney's Office. This is going to be a very long and extensive process, so we definitely want to let everyone know from Hockley County, from Levelland Police Department, the citizens of Levelland, how much we greatly appreciate all the support, how much we appreciate all the outside agency assistance that we had. This has been just it's been overwhelming, but it's been humbling to see how much support we have in West Texas as a result, and what this tragic event led to. We have several people that we continue to pray for. Obviously, the Bartlett family is our priority family. They are truly such a wonderful family that just continues to be resilient, and we want to encourage everyone out there to continue praying for the Bartlett family, as we would we would ask for continued prayers for Sergeant Wilson's family. So I think that we just continue to pray for them, continue to pray for all the other officers, all the outside agencies that continue to do all their due diligence, the Texas Rangers divisions, the attorney or the office of the Attorney General's office, who's been coming, flying in and doing everything that they can to assist us. Obviously, our district attorney's office. Everyone is working so hard to make sure that we get to a resolution and the prosecution of this person as quickly as possible. So, does anyone have any questions at this time? Yes, sir.
Thank you, first of all, Ryan Chandler from KMAC News. Now that we do have 2 indictments, what is the prosecution strategy here in terms of sentencing? Will you be pursuing capital punishment?
If he is convicted of shooting and killing a police officer, then I will ask for the death penalty.
And what does the timeline on that look like? You said the indictment is just the first step. When do we expect to see this prosecution getting underway?
That's hard to say.
Blair Sable with KCBD News. Thanks so much for being here today. For those of you that were in court today, I believe that was just you, Ms. Overman, was Omar Soto Chavira there, and what can you tell us about his demeanor? Does he understand the charges that he's facing right now?
I cannot comment on what happened or who was present in a grand jury proceeding.
Okay, thank you. And he's still being held at Hale County Jail, correct? Is that still happening, and that will remain so?
Yeah, he will remain on our roster. He is our inmate, but we have contracted with another county to house him, and I think that was the consensus. It was a responsible thing to do, so he's going to be there. He won't set foot in my jail again until we have an outcome in this case. He will not step foot in Hockley County Jail, but I will be the last face he sees if he's convicted and goes off to Huntsville.
Huntsville, Alabama?
Texas.
Texas, sorry. I'm not familiar with the geography or anything. Okay, so that would be where he would be headed if he is convicted.
If we get to that point. Again, we're very, very early into a multi-step process. And you asked about time frames. Mm-hmm. Capital cases and murder cases can take years to prosecute. So we're months into a process that could take a couple of years. So.
And what are the next steps for the county in terms of building a case? Just, from a top-line perspective, what is the case that the county wants to make to the people in this prosecution?
For building a criminal case?
Correct.
Actually, so the way kind of this worked, this was again, multi-agency effort. The investigation of this was led by the Texas Rangers Division. So from the local agency perspective, we have already provided incident reports, case reports, media videos, you name it. We have turned it over for, if it's of evidentiary value, absolutely, they have everything. So they have compiled these cases to have them presented with the prosecutor. So going forward, whatever prosecution strategies will be determined by those who will have to make this argument in court. So we will continue to cooperate as any kind of new details come up. If anything new comes up, we will continue to turn that over. So from here, he officially has been indicted. He's basically been charged with this. He will see a judge on this charge, and then the formal processes begin.
And I understand that it's relatively early in this case. I know that the DA's office has been working diligently on this. Can we be given some sort of enlightenment about what the was in this case? I know that we haven't heard a lot, it's been 2 months. Is there any sort of reason why the defendant would have acted in this way?
I am not going to say. No comment.
Why?
It's strategy. No comment. I'm not going to do anything to compromise this case.
Sure. We've been waiting for 2 months for answers, and I'm just curious, people want to know why this man would do this for 11 hours, why he would shoot up police and officers, and I think the public deserves to know.
Well, I really think this. When you have acts of violence, we have seen this several times. We are no stranger to, say, a homicide case in our local county. The question of why is one that we always try to answer. And again, we were only a couple of months into a process that's ongoing still. So whether he has divulged it to anybody, can't tell you. That there are so many questions that are going to come out of this that are going to be unanswered for a while. But I promise you they will all come out in the wash at the end as this process goes through. But I don't know that even one of us could stand here right here today, and correct me if I'm wrong, and tell you why someone would do something so reprehensible. Why someone would do something so bad. I mean, that why question will haunt a lot of folks for a while, but that answer will come. And I think we totally see that, obviously communities want answers. We would like those same answers. Absolutely. So when they come, they'll come out.
Thank you.
Kind of along that same lines, one question that we have heard people are wondering is, to what degree did mental illness or mental fitness play into the grand jury's decision today, and is that something that the prosecution may anticipate being some mitigating factor coming up in this criminal case?
No comment. I'm so sorry, but I will not comment on pending litigation. Cannot do it.
I also wanted to ask for a quick update on Officer Wilson, the other part of this case. What is the update in his life, in his case, and to what degree do you think he will be a party to this case?
Sergeant Wilson is a very strong and resilient young man, and we are so proud of the hard work that he's putting in to his recovery, his therapy. He's doing such a phenomenal job on just trying to get some type of normalcy. He does have some days that he regresses, but then he pushes harder the next day, and I know that he is steadily improving every day, and so we're very hopeful that at some point he's going to be able to come back as a fully certified police officer for the city of Levelland once again. We're holding his spot for him. We anticipate him to come back. And so, again, we're just so very proud of the fact that he is working so hard to be able to come back to his law enforcement family.
Okay.
I have one more question. So we don't normally have press conferences like this for capital murder charges. Hockley County, I know, has several already. Why is it important for y'all to be here today to have representatives from almost every responding agency that was there that day 2 months ago?
I think it's important for us to solidify and show everyone how unified we are across the West Texas area. Regardless of whether this incident happens in Levelland, Texas or happens in Lubbock, Texas, we're going to be there to support one another at all cost. And so we want to also solidify and let everyone know that when we say in West Texas back the blue, it's not just a hashtag. We mean it here in West Texas. And so I think it's very important for us to show the unity here. I think it's very important for us to continue to work well together, and that's what this shows right here. This is what we want you as a community to understand, is that we're here and we're going to keep working hard and diligently to make sure that we keep our community safe. Thank you.
Well, I think to the second part of the young man's question a minute ago, with regard to participation, obviously everybody that was involved that day is going to be prepared and ready when it comes time, for any type of court functions, hearings, the actual trial itself. They were involved. They're going to be prepared and ready to do their part to support that prosecution and ensure that a jury has the best information in their hands to make their decisions on guilt or innocence when this is all said and done. So, again, and that's a collective effort from everybody and everybody's personnel that's standing up here before you today.
Just one last question. Will the indictments for capital murder and attempted capital murder be pursued in entirely separate cases or in front of the same jury? Take us through that process so we know what to expect.
We'll pursue the capital murder first.
Okay.
I think it's important that, you know, as we continue through this process with the prosecution of this person, there are certain steps that have to take place, and so because of that, she has to be able to take each individual case at its own value. And sometimes she may be able to combine some of them together, but because we do have a capital murder case on the table right now, it's important for us to be able to do that as quickly as we can as well. And so, but by the same token, we want to make sure that obviously we're crossing all our T's and dotting all our I's. Again, the overall end result is that we successfully prosecute this person for his actions on July 15th. And so, again, I believe Ms. Overman is doing the best job that she can, and she's going to continue to do the best job she can for Hockley County and for Lubbock County, and to ensure that we get a proper and righteous prosecution on this.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.